Hey folks, and welcome to another Irish Whiskey Review with me, Marty Macaulay. I hope everything is safe and well with you, as usual. I hope you're struggling on through and getting ready for Christmas. I'm just setting this back. I have small miniatures again tonight. These are sample bottles that were sent by the company to one of our whiskey tastings that we do live on the show on Saturday night, Facebook Live. Facebook.com/Irish Whiskey Review/live. We'll go to the video section and catch up with the ones that have already went. So this was sent to us by the good people at River Rock Single Malt in Scotland. Now, the reason I got in touch with this company, because what they are doing is set up by three former directors of Edrington. Now, Edrington are a company which own Macallan, Highland Park, Glenross, a few other whiskey brands and distilleries and stuff. So these guys left to set up their own company, and the ethos of the whole place is to make a bit of a difference. So they want to celebrate natural individuality and make a positive change. Now, what they do is they call their bottles wonky bottles. Okay? Now, I haven't got a full bottle here because what they do is they do it in batches. So they make a batch, sell all of that, then get another batch. I say make it, they buy it in. They search for the supplier that they'll have. They search for the cask that they want, get that cask, bottle it, sell it on, etc., etc. Now, because they are former directors of Edrington, you're going to assume that they know what they're doing. That they are whiskey people. It's a big firm. Macallan's probably certainly the most collectible, one of the most desired whiskies in Scotland. So they've this nice little brand, not to be confused with another famous water of almost the same name. This is a single malt. Now, what they want to do is create a single malt that even non-whiskey drinkers will drink. So they haven't went for big punchy flavours, big standalone whiskies. They actually kind of want to move a little bit back from that and have it where the whiskey's approachable, very drinkable, very much a genteel whiskey. One that you're not going to necessarily get massively excited about, but you'll think that's exceptionally well made, and that's what they're going for. Now, I got a chance to try this on Saturday night. They want to try and limit the impact that the company has, which, if anyone ever listens to me, which you don't try not to, an awful lot. Whoops. We'll keep that in. We don't cut stuff like that. Where was I? Yes. We all know the trouble the environment's in, the CO2 and climate change, etc., etc. Now, governments say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and they can make a contribution. But it's companies. Companies are the key to getting all of this fixed. If you can get a company motivated and give them the right set of circumstances, then they can set their extremely clever brains and get stuff done. And the likes of this company, one of the things that they do is they take the waste glass. So when glass is going from one colour to another, they take the bit in the middle, which is normally just scrapped, and they make the bottles from that. So all the bottles are totally unique, totally individual, slightly different shade, run from clear to green or to dark blues or whatever. Now, it's those little differences that will make big differences. If all companies were to do this, to take the waste take all the stuff that's thrown away, reuse it. It cuts down on all the environmental energy, and it's just pragmatic. Actually, it's just pragmatic to use something that's going to go to waste. So I wholeheartedly agree with what these guys are doing, and I wish there was an awful lot more of this, and there is more of it coming, especially in the whiskey industry, because it only uses so few ingredients. It's really not that massively energy intensive, So yeah, it's a good. Now, there's no colouring in that, or if there is, it's a tiny little amount. It's very light. Now, I was expecting this to be well put together. Edrington, as I say, these are guys used to using big names, and they could have went and bought a real punchy whiskey that stands alone and made a blend or whatever. It's 40%. Now, another thing, I should say, each bottle, when you buy a bottle, for every bottle that's bought, a tree is planted by the John Muir Trust, who are trying to build up the tree forests in Scotland. The name of the mountain escapes me. Schiehallion, is it? I think that's it. I do apologise, but I think that's what it's called. And they're trying to reforest this. Again, positive steps. Every time you buy one, there's a tree planted, sucks in a bit of the CO2 from the air, and cuts down. You're doing your bit. Now this is £35 a bottle. You can buy it at the website riverrock.org, and that's where you can get it. Yeah. So let's have a little whirl. Now, straight away, it's very light. There's not a huge body coming off the nose, but it's cereal sweetness, barley sugar. There's a tiny little bit of mint there as well. But it's got that malt tone, barley. You're getting the barley. It's coming through on the nose, and it is sweet. Vanilla coming from, it's bourbon cask, so that's where the vanilla's coming from. A slight vegetal note, which you're kind of thinking this has got a grain aspect to it, but it's not. It's a single malt. And there's a tiny little bit of ginger. So there's a tiny little bit of ginger, tiny little bit of mint, but it's more vegetal and light vanilla. But there's a sweetness coming to it. And that barley sugar. So there's not a huge nose to it. There's no big punchy flavour. There's not. What this is doing is it's got a beautiful mouthfeel. It's not an old whiskey. It's sweet, but it's nice. It's tempered sweetness. The sweetness doesn't come at you quick and overpower you. It's delivered in a really nice way. The mouthfeel is really, really good for a young whiskey. It's a non-age statement. I'm going to say it's not terribly old, but it's got a real velvety mouthfeel, which is very palatable. There's nothing going to come at you out of the blue with this. Non-whiskey drinkers could drink this. There's the mouthfeel for this, for it being so young. It's almost got a liqueurish, velvety thickness to it that actually really delivers the sweetness, and that's basically what this is. It's quite sweet, but it's delivered in a really nice, soft way. yeah, when on the arrival, it's still got that almost a single grain quality to it, and then it very quickly moves over and has that richness coming through on it. There's not a big flavour of this. The finish is quite short, and these are characteristics that normally sum up something you're not going to like. But with this, it really works. It's nice and balanced. It's got that barley sugar sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. It's got a creaminess, not in taste but in texture. So it's delivering this nice, almost dessert-like quality without being too sweet. This you can just, I defy anyone to say that they don't like this. By the same token, there'll be very, very few people shout, "This is fabulous, this is the best whiskey I've ever tasted," blah, blah, blah. They're not going to do that. But what this is delivering a really good quality whiskey at a really good price without you having to really dip into your pocket. You're getting a good quality whiskey at a really good price to experience that mouthfeel. I never ever really use the word smooth. I just don't like it, because for me, what people mean by smooth is a combination of different factors which can be out of sync. So I prefer to use the word balance, and this is balanced really well. The alcohol of 40% is perfect at that. You wouldn't put water in this. I certainly wouldn't. You may put ice in it. That's to everybody's preference. I wouldn't necessarily do it. This would work really well in cocktails. It would work really well just on its own. It would work. This is very versatile, and I be honestly, I think this is a really good quality spirit. I don't think you'll ever see this as a special cask finished whiskey. They'll not age. I don't think they'll ever age this in Oloroso or Pinot Noir or any of the new casks that seem to be popping up all the time. I don't think this is what this is going to be. This will always be just a bourbon cask, mellow, very easy drunk, very mild whiskey, and that's not a bad thing. So, if I was scoring this in terms of mouthfeel, mouthfeel is very important. It's often overlooked because people are looking for the big punchy flavours, or they're looking for what the flavour finish, the cask finish and the big finish in the tongue, and that's primarily in order to get a 10 out of 10, you're going to have to get that. But for this has its place, and I would recommend this again because it's not big flavour. It's really going to rely on the quality of the spirit and the price point and the ethos of what you're buying into. I'll quite happily give this a 7, possibly a 7.5 out of 10. On a good day, it would get a 7.5. This is good value for money. It is good quality spirit. Anyone can drink this, but if you are big into your sherry bombs, big into your peat monsters, big into your experimental cask finishes, this isn't really going to rock your world. But by the same token, you'll not dislike it. This is a good quality spirit. So, cheers to the people at River Up. As I say, 7.5, pushing 7.5. Give it a whirl and go to the website, see what you think, read the story, buy into it, see if you like it. And okay, stay safe everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon.